but no one's tuning in to watch Angel Reese. It's just not happening. She's not Michael Jordan. She's not Magic Johnson. She's not Larry Bird. She's someone that taunted Caitlin Clark. Those are the facts.
I said, yeah, she's winning that NBA All-Star three-point contest. Sorry, Steph.
All right, basketball fans, get ready because this is huge. Caitlin Clark has officially decided to take on none other than Steph Curry in what's shaping up to be the most epic showdown of the year.
It's going to be Steph Curry and Klay Thompson versus Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese is left scrambling as the Unrivaled League continues to crumble, exposing her as nothing more than a fading star.
The truth is, Angel Reese is not a draw. She wasn't a draw at LSU. Millions of people were watching Angel Reese. No, millions of people were watching Caitlin Clark.
Clark, known for her jaw-dropping skills and game-changing presence, is once again proving why she's the true face of basketball. And while she's stepping into the spotlight with the NBA's greatest shooter, Reese is watching her hype fizzle out faster than the league she claimed to carry.
Jealousy and envy and delusion all mixed together. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're delusional. People are watching these games because of Caitlin Clark.
In this video, we're diving into all the drama, how Caitlin Clark's decision to play against Curry is setting the basketball world on fire, and how Angel Reese's attempts to stay relevant are falling apart. Stick around because this story is packed with stats, receipts, and some brutal truths that can't be ignored.
Oh boy, if I say what I really think, these black women and these feminist white women are not going to sleep with me. And I may lose my job. They're going to come after my job. We're not in position to say to an Angel Reese, shut up.
Let's start with the clash of narratives. Caitlin Clark, the undisputed face of basketball, versus Angel Reese, who's been trying to hold on to relevance in the crumbling Unrivaled League.
According to the media, this league is filled with star power. Angel Reese might be well known. Angel Reese may be a star on social media, but there's a huge difference between a star and a draw.
Nobody is coming close to the power of the Caitlin Clark effect. Like, they're just not.
The boil on Caitlin Clark's ass, Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layup?
First, let's address the buzz surrounding Caitlin Clark's upcoming matchup with Steph Curry. It's not just another basketball event, it's a cultural moment.
Someone else said Steph hit 100+ threes in a row, and that's very true. And I know also that Steph is going to be super hyped for this matchup.
Clark's insane work ethic and her game-changing performances have earned her this spotlight. She's stepping up to compete with the best shooter in NBA history, a move that screams confidence and undeniable star power.
He's not going to miss out on having Times Athlete of the Year, the most famous basketball player in the world at this moment, in Caitlin Clark at NBA All-Star Weekend.
But what makes this even more compelling is the backdrop of Angel Reese's failing narrative. The Unrivaled League, which once promised to elevate women's basketball to new heights, has become a sinking ship. Despite Reese being positioned as its face, the league is struggling to capture viewers.
TNT announces that 3 million people tuned into Unrivaled during opening weekend. TNT is lying. The first slate of games on Friday and Monday, they did not break 1 million viewers combined. You're paying these players 6 figures, and they are barely drawing ratings in the 6 figures.
On opening night, the league barely managed 312,000 viewers, a sharp contrast to Caitlin Clark's WNBA games that routinely drew over 2 million fans. Let that sink in. Clark, without any gimmicks, shattered records while Reese can't keep the audience engaged, even with massive promotional backing.
It's here that we need to just realize Angel Reese is playing, and she's been very big on herself as being a massive draw. If that is in fact the truth, then why are people not watching with the same excitedness that they were watching Caitlin Clark?
Go check out games with Angel Reese that don't involve Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese couldn't sell out home games, wasn't selling out at LSU. She damn sure isn't selling out the dump in Chicago.
And here's the kicker. Caitlin Clark rejected the Unrivaled League entirely. Why? Because she doesn't need it. She knew from the start that the league lacked the substance to match her caliber.
The main reason Unrivaled is failing, they have not given you a reason to watch.
You and I both know, right? We both know. No Caitlin Clark, no watch. No Caitlin Clark in the league, no watch. Caitlin Clark's in that league, viewership doubles, if not triple.
While Angel Reese and the league marketed glitz and glam, complete with celebrity investors and over-the-top perks like glam rooms, Caitlyn focused on what matters: the game. Her rejection of the league wasn't just a business decision, it was a statement. It exposed how much of Reese's supposed star power relies on manufactured hype rather than actual performance or fan appeal.
Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw in women's basketball, and without her, many fans just aren't going to tune in.
For Caitlin Clark, this was a great choice. She was not taking part in the debut season of Unrivaled. We've heard of Unrivaled. It's a new league. It's an option for WNBA players rather than going overseas. They can play here.
The stats don't lie either. Angel Reese's on-court performance has been far from impressive. Her recent games have been riddled with poor shooting percentages, turnover disasters, and underwhelming stat lines that only highlight her lack of growth. For instance, in one of her latest Unrivaled League games, Reese played just 8 minutes, scoring a mere 4 points while her team thrived without her.
People thought there was great momentum. People thought Angel Reese could draw. No, nobody wants to watch Angel Reese. Come on.
We know that the WNBA numbers with her and versus the numbers in the WNBA without her also have a major gap. And this really makes us realize the power of Caitlin Clark, the appeal of Caitlin Clark.
It's becoming painfully obvious. When Reese isn't the center of attention, her team performs better. Compare that to Caitlin Clark, whose mere presence elevates not just her team, but the entire league she's part of.
It is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. If you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing.
America sent them a clear reminder: we are not interested in watching pretend basketball. We have 30 years of evidence that proves women's basketball does not draw on television. We have 30 years of evidence that proves Americans are not interested in women's basketball.
Caitlyn's decision to face Steph Curry is the ultimate flex. It's not just about basketball, it's about proving she belongs on the same stage as the greatest in the game.
With it getting closer to NBA All-Star, but I guarantee you that she is preparing for this NBA three-point shooting contest.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese's attempts to dominate headlines by riding on Clark's name are falling flat. The Unrivaled League's floundering ratings and Reese's subpar performances are evidence enough. Caitlin Clark is the reason fans care about women's basketball, and Reese is struggling to keep up.
They released the first television numbers, TNT did, and they're bragging about them because, well, they're the best they've ever been.
Those numbers, just to put into a little bit of perspective, while they seem like, okay, we've got over 312, when you put them in comparison to some of the WNBA numbers, specifically the WNBA numbers that featured Caitlin Clark playing in a game, they are actually very low.
Now let's dive deeper into why Caitlin Clark continues to outshine Angel Reese, not just on the court, but in every aspect of basketball. Caitlin's decision to focus on her craft rather than participate in a flashy yet underwhelming league like Unrivaled is paying dividends.
I saw highlights of it or lowlights of it, and I gotta tell you, it's really bad. Watching 5-on-5 women is bad enough, but 3-on-3 women, worse. If I'm the Unrivaled League, I go back to Caitlin Clark and say, what do you need? And then I give it to her. But Caitlin Clark seems beyond that, and that adds to her popularity.
Let's be real, her absence from the league hasn't just hurt its ratings, it's completely exposed the league's flaws and Reese's limitations as a so-called star.
But you ain't got nothing to do with these record ratings and all of that. Yes, you play a little bit role, but that role is over. Yes, you taunted Caitlin Clark. It's a delusion that's embarrassing and can't be stopped.
While Caitlin Clark spends her offseason sharpening her skills and expanding her game, Angel Reese seems more invested in maintaining her social media image than improving her performance.
Now, Caitlin Clark also just celebrated a birthday a couple days ago, and for her birthday, she was in the gym, and she went 50 for 54 from 3 on her birthday.
Let's look at the facts. Videos of Caitlin Clark in the gym show her working at full speed, perfecting her iconic three-pointers and adding new layers to her offensive arsenal. Her trainer, Coach Keith Porter, has been clear about his mission: to make Clark so versatile that no defense can stop her. From fadeaways and pull-ups to relentless finishes at the rim, Caitlin's offseason is all about dominance. Meanwhile, Reese's training sessions, if they even happen, seem more like carefully curated Instagram content than actual hard work.
So as you can see, Coach Keith Porter is there. Coach KP told me that one of his goals for Caitlin was just to expand her bag. So no matter what defense is thrown at her, she has something for it. Caitlin Clark wants to drop 20 or 30 a game. They're just gonna have to accept that because there's not much they can do to stop her.
And it shows in the numbers. Clark recently hit an astounding 50 out of 54 three-pointers in a single gym session, showcasing her unmatched shooting accuracy. On the flip side, Reese's most recent Unrivaled League performance was an embarrassment, scoring just 4 points, grabbing 6 rebounds, and turning the ball over 3 times in 8 minutes of play. That's not star material, that's bench material. To make matters worse, when Reese was on the bench, her team actually performed better, securing a win without her dragging them down. This pattern has become painfully clear. Reese's presence isn't elevating her team, it's holding them back. Now let's talk about why Caitlin's decision to face Steph Curry matters so much. By stepping into a competition with one of the NBA's greatest shooters of all time, Clark isn't just showcasing her skills, she's making a statement.
Some spoilers from the video. So she never misses 2 3-pointers in a row throughout these 54 shots that she took. Somebody said, how about she tries with a size 7 when that happens? We know that that also will not be a problem for Caitlin because she's already shooting.
She's proving that women's basketball can stand shoulder to shoulder with men's basketball when the talent is undeniable. And let's not forget, this isn't just any matchup, it's Caitlin Clark going head to head with Steph Curry in a 3-point showdown, something fans of both the NBA and WNBA are dying to see. This move elevates the sport in a way that the Unrivaled League could only dream of. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is trying and failing to stay relevant by clinging to Caitlin Clark's name. Every time she brings up Clark, whether to stir up drama or to compare herself, it only reinforces the truth. Clark is the standard, and Reese is chasing shadows. The contrast between them couldn't be clearer. Clark's decisions, training, and performance speak to her greatness, while Reese's theatrics, social media antics, and subpar play highlight her struggle to keep up.
So even though we are not able to see Caitlin Clark play in an organized league this offseason, we are getting to see her go game speed, and it'll just be really exciting to see how these little tweaks add up to the full package of Caitlin Clark gameplay that we will hopefully see during this next WNBA season.
Let's shift the focus to the bigger picture, how Caitlin Clark's rise to superstardom is setting the standard for excellence in basketball, while Angel Reese's fall is revealing the cracks in her hype. Caitlin's upcoming face-off with Steph Curry is more than just a thrilling matchup. It's a defining moment that solidifies her status as a global ambassador for the sport. Meanwhile, Reese, who once claimed she was as vital to women's basketball as Clark, is watching her influence and reputation take a nosedive. Let's start with the Steph Curry connection. The rumor mill has been buzzing, and it's all but confirmed that Caitlin Clark will be teaming up with Sabrina Ionescu to take on Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in a 3-point contest during NBA All-Star Weekend. Think about what this means, not just for Caitlin, but for the perception of women's basketball as a whole. This is the NBA recognizing Clark's talent as something so extraordinary that it deserves to be showcased on its biggest stage. Fans aren't tuning in just to see Steph and Klay. They're tuning in because they want to see Caitlin Clark go head to head with the best in the game. Now compare that to Angel Reese. Instead of elevating her game, Reese seems content riding on past fame and social media antics. Her recent Unrivaled League games have been nothing short of embarrassing. From double dribbles to missed layups, her performances are more meme-worthy than highlight-worthy. In one game, Reese's team finally found success, but only after she was benched. While Reese struggled, her teammate Lexi Hull stepped up, scoring 19 points on 8 of 11 shooting and earning Player of the Game honors. The narrative writes itself. When Reese isn't the focus, the team wins.
Caitlin Clark is white, and because she's white, and because she's considered box office and she's a star who happens to be white, that is why Eminem, when I brought up words like envy or jealous or resentment, whatever word you wanted to pick, I didn't say it in a negative fashion like, oh my God, it's a problem. I used the word justified. You know why? Because black people throughout this country have felt that level of ire because we know we've got to be twice as good to get half as much. We know we've got to extend ourselves. We know we've got to put ourselves on Front Street to have a shot at getting half. Pick a profession. Pick a name. Ask yourself, pick the biggest star. Pick the biggest star in podcasts. Pick the biggest star in television. Pick the biggest star in sports or whatever. That's black. And ask yourself the question that we all ask. If they were white, what would they be? How much money would we get paid if we were white? How receptive would America be to us? Because it's still 60% of the population when the white populace in this country is dipped from 90 to 85 to 80 to 70 to now 60% and dipping, okay? Even now, you have a situation where you get somebody who happens to be white and they're a star and they deserve the acclaim. They receive something we know we wouldn't receive on that level. Why do you think I say on national television, when white folks catch a cold, black folks catch pneumonia? Because it's always worse for us. There's always an extra challenge. We always have to go through more. It's not a secret. We get it. And so all I'm trying to say to you is when Angel Reese said what she said, let's read between the lines. Because what she's really saying is that this is really not a big deal. We're making it a big deal because of what I did and who I did it to.
And let's address the elephant in the room. Reese's claim that she's equally responsible for the rise of women's basketball. This couldn't be further from the truth. The ratings, the records, and the fan engagement all point to one person driving the sport forward, Caitlin Clark. When Clark plays, arenas are packed and millions tune in. When Reese plays, the seats are empty and the TV ratings plummet. Even with the Unrivaled League's massive promotional efforts, they failed to turn Reese into the draw she claims to be. Clark's decision to stay out of the Unrivaled League was a masterstroke. She didn't just sidestep a league that's losing credibility, she exposed its biggest flaw. It's built on hype, not substance. And Reese, who positioned herself as the league's face, is now facing the consequences. Without Caitlin Clark to draw fans and create excitement, the league is floundering, and Reese's inability to carry it is on full display. The contrast between these two players couldn't be more stark. Caitlin Clark's focus, talent, and decision-making have made her the undisputed queen of basketball, while Angel Reese's theatrics and subpar performances are dragging her down. And as Clark prepares to take on Steph Curry, a moment that will elevate women's basketball to new heights, Reese is stuck trying to keep her name relevant in a league that's quickly becoming irrelevant. So here we are, Caitlin Clark is gearing up to face Steph Curry in one of the most anticipated matchups we've ever seen. And Angel Reese? Well, she's watching her spotlight fade as the Unrivaled League continues to crumble. Clark's rise is built on skill, work ethic, and a relentless drive to be the best. She doesn't need gimmicks or manufactured drama to prove her worth. The numbers, the records, and the fans say it all. Her decision to skip the Unrivaled League wasn't just a career move, it was a mic drop moment that exposed the league and Angel Reese for what they really are, flashy but hollow. Meanwhile, Reese is left clinging to past fame and trying to stay relevant through antics and social media. But fans are waking up to the truth. The contrast between these two players is undeniable. Caitlin Clark is the future of basketball, the name fans want to see on the marquee. Angel Reese? She's becoming an afterthought. The basketball world is evolving, and Caitlin Clark is leading the charge. Her upcoming matchup with Steph Curry will be another chapter in her legendary career, a moment that will inspire millions. And as for Angel Reese, well, the court is exposing what the hype can't cover up. Thanks for watching, and as always, let us know what you think in the comments. Are you Team Caitlin or Team Angel? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content. This story isn't over, and you're gonna want to be here for every twist and turn. Until next time.